What's going on, everybody? I'm back with another video for my Omi homies. In today's video, I'm going to get into Veve'S exponential growth. They've just had explosive growth over the last year. We're going to look at the numbers. We're going to project out into next year, see what may be coming along the way for Veve and in turn the Omi token. So stick around. There is a lot to talk about. If you like the content, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Now let's get into it. What's up, everybody? Hope you're all having a great weekend. Yesterday was a great day for the Veve and Omi community. If you're over on Twitter, tons of people were doing giveaways, free giveaways of Veve NFTs, and it really demonstrated the connectedness and the tight-knit nature of this community. And over the last week or so, I've been thinking about how fast this project, this company is growing. Our Veve is growing at an exponential rate right before our eyes. And in this video, I wanted to do a bit of a deeper dive into the numbers, the rate of growth, how far they may grow next year, and what implications that has for the Omi token. All right, so we're going to cover all of that in this video, so stick around. If you're new to the channel, consider hitting that like button and subscribing. Just hitting the like button helps get this video out to more Omi homies. All right, so now let's get started. We're going to start off by taking a look at the overall market. So as you can see, the overall market has not recovered from Friday's sell-off. Bitcoin has shown some signs of life, creeping back towards $50,000, but it's not been able to sustain that move back up. At the time of this recording, the Omi token is sitting at 0.0047. It's broken below that 0.005 level that it's been holding since the middle of September. That's been a strong level of support. It just dipped below it. So it is possible that we could see some further downward price action if the market does not recover soon. If you take a look at the Bitcoin Fear and Greed Index, the market is currently in extreme fear. Of course, this is all because of uncertainty with the new coronavirus strain, as well as other macro issues involving the Fed tapering and possibly raising interest early next year. So that's the state of the overall market. I do not believe that the bull run is over. I think this is just a temporary roadblock, and business will pick up again in the coming days or weeks. When there is extreme fear in the market, that's when I like to make my purchases and add on to my holdings. I don't like to buy when the market is running up. That's when I pull back and I just watch the market run. All right, and I sit on the sidelines and I wait for moments like this. Now I want to segue into the main topic, which is Veve and its exponential growth over the last year. So this article was released last week from Sensor Tower, and it really shares incredible information detailing just how fast Veve has grown over the last year. The headline states, Veve Collectibles leads NFT trading space on mobile with more than $100 million in consumer spending. And I know a lot of people have covered this over the last week, but I wanted to do a deeper dive into the numbers and also take a deeper look at some of the things that the article is talking about. So Sensor Tower's latest analysis of emerging trends uses store intelligence data to reveal that Veve Collectibles is leading the top NFT collectible apps in the mobile space in terms of both worldwide installs and consumer spending. And we're going to get into this chart a little later that demonstrates that exponential growth. But let's talk about the overall space and how Veve has just completely decimated the competition. The newcomer pulls ahead is the next subtitle. So the 4 apps studied in Sensor Tower's analysis included Veve'S, Fantastic Swap, Our Song, and Sweet. Those are 3 other emerging NFT companies. Now, all of these companies focus on trading collectibles rather than wallet functionality. Aside from Veve'S, the cohort launched their mobile apps in 2019. So these 3 other companies, Fantastic Swap, Our Song, and Sweet, all launched a year before Veve'S, far ahead of the boom in NFT trading. And although the 3 apps saw a lift in spending and adoption during 2021, Veve'S has outpaced the others despite launching in only October 2020. But more importantly, they go on to state that Veve'S has generated $112 million in consumer spending. The other 3 apps have collectively hit a combined total of approximately $384,000 in spending. So Veve'S has more than tripled the revenue of those other 3 startups which started their businesses 1 year ahead of Veve'S. So Fantastic Swap looks to be a sports-based, specifically a soccer-based NFT app, and they offer exclusive NFTs, digital collectibles, history-defining moments. Looks almost like a Top Shot for soccer. Then there's Our Song, which looks to be for creators, saying that everyone can now turn stories, music, photography, and any kind of art into NFT trading cards. And then there's Sweet, which looks like one that partners with other companies. Looks like they have a Macy's partnership. They have a Chicago Blackhawks partnership, a Red Bull Racing. They have New York Knicks over here. I've never heard of them, but they look like they do have some partnerships. But the point is this: those 3 other companies started their businesses at around the same time as Veve'S, and Veve'S has tripled the revenue of all 3 combined, all right? And it just serves to reinforce my thesis. This is why I invested in the OMI token. It's because the NFT space is going to grow into a huge industry, and Veve'S has the licensing and IP to win. And if you just look at the data, look at the competition and the other companies that are moving into the space or that have already moved into the space, and look how they are doing compared to Veve'S. All right, you can combine them all, and Veve'S is destroying them. And it's all based on math. It's not based on subjectivity. It's not based on what you like collecting. It's based on math. It's based on data. And it's all represented in this graph, which shows exponential growth. This is November, of course. This is when the Disney Golden Moments dropped. It's also during DesignerCon. But you can see the huge spike in revenue. But even before that, there were huge gains month over month. So now we're going to take a closer look at those gains in percentages. So I wanted to take the information from that bar graph and represent it in a way that showed the month over month gains in revenue, just to demonstrate how rapidly the company is growing and what it's looked like on a month to month basis. So back in January, they had just $13,000 in revenue. So they started the year making next to nothing. In February, they saw a huge jump in revenue, doing a 41x, 4,100% increase in revenue, a huge jump. But then in March, they did a 13x from their February numbers, jumping from $536,000 in revenue to generating $7.2 million in the month of March. And they pretty much replicated that in April, staying relatively flat at $7.1 million in revenue. And they saw a dip in the months of May and June. On a month-over-month basis, the revenue dropped 24% in May and then 41% from May into June, where they generated $3.2 million. But ever since June, they've been on fire. Take a look at July. They doubled their revenue, got back over $6 million with a 100% month-over-month increase. Then they increased that by 27% in August, jumping to $8.8 million in revenue. In September, they jumped 41%, generating $14.8 million in revenue. They grew another 29% in October, breaking $20 million in revenue. And then, of course, Golden Moments came along with Designer Con, and they blew out October's numbers, up 40% month over month to $34.5 million in revenue. If you add it all up, they generated over $100 million in revenue in less than 1 year. And they made next to nothing in the first 2 months of the year. So that's basically $108 million in 9 months. And this is exponential growth. To go from $536,000 in revenue to $34 million in revenue just 9 months later, that is exponential growth. Now, David Yu has stated in interviews that one of the goals of the company is to generate billions of dollars annually. All right, and as you can see, they are well on their way now. Is it possible that they can generate $1 billion next year? I think that the answer is yes. If you if you just take November's numbers, $34.5 million, and you extrapolate that out over 12 months, if they were able to just replicate that on a month-over-month basis for 12 months, it would be at $500 million. All right, so if they were to grow at the rate that they are growing now, they would exceed $1 billion next year, and that's not taken into consideration the fact that they will inevitably have increased drops, that they could increase the mint numbers of some of their collectibles, that they will be selling accessories in the app, as well as rolling out the Veve'S, selling land and monetizing that part of the company. So it does look like $1 billion in revenue could be on the way next year, and that is absolutely mind-blowing, because when you I always try to figure out how to value my investments, and in crypto, that's difficult sometimes because there aren't metrics that have been, it's such a new space that those metrics haven't yet been created. But I do think that you can look at comparables, and a lot of people disagree, but I believe that it's already done. People value Bitcoin. When people put a price tag of a $10 trillion market cap on Bitcoin, they're doing that because they're comparing it to gold, something that it has the same properties of. All right. When you look at layer 1 protocols like Ethereum, Cardano, and Solana, people look to those projects as being capable of getting to market caps in the trillions of dollars. Why? Because they are huge networks. They are the big tech companies of crypto, similar to what Google is and what Microsoft is. And while there's no perfect comparable for Veve'S because it's such a unique company and no one does quite what they do, I can look to a company that's in the tech industry, that's also in the entertainment industry, that's in gaming, that's in the metaverse or entering the metaverse industry. And that company is Roblox. I can look at Roblox as a comparable to Veve'S, compare them in their growth trajectory, look at what Roblox is valued at, and to try to get an idea of where I believe Veve'S could one day be valued. So this is quarterly revenue generated by Roblox, starting from quarter 1 of 2018 to the most recent quarter 3 of 2021. And you can see the steady growth quarter over quarter, which eventually led to $500 million in quarter 3 of 2021, which would put them at approximately $2 billion in annual revenue. Now, I took Veve'S monthly numbers and represented it in a graph similar to this, showing quarter over quarter. Now, if Veve can generate $28 million in the month of December, which is less than what they did in November, but more in October, their Q4 revenue will be approximately $83 million. This is where Roblox was at in quarter 3, 2018. In their previous quarter, they did $72 million. So you can see that Veve as a company is growing faster than Roblox. Now, at the time of this recording, Roblox is valued at $65 billion. They're generating about $2 billion annually. Now, is it crazy to think that the OMI token could be valued between $10 to $20 billion next year, or even a little more? I don't think that's crazy, because I see this company growing super fast. I do think that they'll hit $1 billion in revenue next year, or if not hit it, come close to it. I think that they'll get close to 5 million downloads and close to 5 million active users next year. And so I know that crypto assets and stocks are not valued in the same way. However, I am a numbers guy, and I need something concrete. I need data to back up my projections, and I need data to let me know that what I'm projecting and what I'm thinking is rational and accurate. And I do believe that $10 to $20 billion next year for the OMI token, considering the rate of growth for the Veve app, is possible. Let me know what you think down in the comments below. Where do you see Veve going next year, the year after? Where do you see the OMI token going? If you like the content, make sure you hit the like button and subscribe to the channel. Follow me on Twitter. My Twitter handle is linked below. I hope you all have a great rest of the weekend. As always, stay happy, stay healthy, and stay safe. I will see you in the next video.